For as many AAA 50-plus hour games that have been coming out in the recent years, it's nice to just sit back and enjoy a simple 2-hour little game with no real larger plot than what is presented at face value. And there's no better example in recent times than Thank Goodness You're Here. Released in 2024 and developed by Cole Supper and Panic Inc., Thank Goodness You're Here is a self-described comedy slapformer created by James Carbutt and Will Todd. The game takes place in Britain, specifically in the fictional town of Barnsworth, which, let's be real, is just Yorkshire. You play as an unnamed little yellow lad who is a traveling salesman sent to Barnsworth to speak to the Lord Mayor of the town in order to sell them your product. But you arrive a few hours early, so you get to get up from your seat, walk out of the waiting room, and set off to explore the town to kill some time. At first glance, this game's strongest forte is the art style and visuals. This game is bursting at the seams with little details and entertaining cartoony visuals and characters, and it's unlikely you'll spot every single detail on your first playthrough, making for a very replay-heavy game. The more people you talk to, the more likely you are to be given a task or job to do. Some tasks are optional and do not add to the story, but some are required in order to progress the story, such as getting butter for Charlie to slip out of the drain or retrieving all of Jasper's tools to fix the chip maker. And as the game progresses, these tasks go from simple mundanity to downright surreal and unsettling trips. One of the best parts of this game is how huge and alive it feels despite being so small. Barnsworth truly feels like a town that has been lived in, and the people look and feel like people you could have seen in real life. And one of my favorite things about the art is how no two characters share the same design, making everyone feel unique and memorable. My favorite character, of course, is Roger Peelings, who actually has his own fleshed out story and even a redeeming character arc towards the end. Honestly, Thank Goodness is an anything goes type of game. It may be frustrating what I'm about to say, but this game feels very Earthbound-ish. It shares similar humor, dialogue, and surreal visuals. It is a must-have for any fans of quirky JRPG indie games, even though it has no RPG elements at all. And that is where I'm going to segue into one of my only gripes with the game. When this game launched, it came out with a price tag of $26. Adding taxes and such, that comes out to around $30. Now, I don't know about you folks, but for a game that could be completed in about an hour and a half, maybe 2.5, if you really explore every single surface, $30, at least to me, is honestly pushing it a bit. I get the game is extremely well made with a whimsy art style and an original soundtrack, but for a game with no unlockable modes, extra side quests, or new modes, you're essentially paying $30 for an hour and a half animated movie. A very worthwhile and entertaining animated movie, but it could do with some perks. Though I do imagine we will be getting some DLC or perhaps even a sequel in the near future given the game's ever-growing popularity, so I am holding out that soon we will get an expansion of Barnsworth and its inhabitants for another wacky adventure. Another strong quality this game has is realism. You arrive at Barnsworth in the early morning and you see shops are just opening, postmen delivering the morning mail. As the game slowly comes to a close towards the end, all the same shops and stands that were once open are now closed, all the familiar faces have gone home, the hardworking men are enjoying an afternoon drink at the pub. It truly feels like the game is clocking out for the day. You've spent an entire day at Barnsworth, and now it's time to say goodbye. It makes for a rather bittersweet ending, seeing all the characters you've grown attached to along the way go on with their lives. They will surely forget about you, but we won't forget them. In conclusion, Thank Goodness You're Here is an extremely charming experience, more charming than most games I have played recently. While yes, it is quite short, I feel like I'll be coming back to it again and again to visit my lads at Barnsworth, just until we get new DLC. I'm looking at you, upcoming shop.